can say hi. He's a bad puppy. Yeah, you are a bad puppy. Look, is that a bad puppy? Yes, there's a bad puppy. Mila, no. You are too big to be a lap dog. Oh, burp. Don't puke on me. He puked a little bit earlier. All right, cutie. Bye-bye. Bye. Okay, down you go. All right. So as many of you are well aware, winter storms are just really torturing a lot of people across the country. Probably in other parts of the world too. But in Virginia this past week, there were people who got stuck in like a 5-mile long traffic standstill for 24 hours in the cold. It was like 20 degrees overnight, and people were literally stuck in their cars for 24 hours with no relief. And so somebody brought up something on that Ask Friends of Judy Morgan page. Would you be prepared? What should we take? What I would like to make kits for my family members to have in the car with them in case something like that happened. And I think it's something that we just never think about. Who would think that in suburban Virginia, right outside of DC, you'd get stuck for 24 hours and no one would come to your rescue? Like, I feel so sorry for families who had small children or pets with them, or older people with, health issues. Like, how horrible would that have been to be stranded overnight? And God forbid, what if your gas tank was on low and you couldn't turn your car on and run the engine and keep warm? So I think this is something that we all need to think about, and think about, would I be prepared? Like, I know in the back of my car, there's an extra dog leash, there's a dog bowl, there's paper towels and toilet paper. But right now, there's no water in the car. There used to be a blanket in the car, but right now there's not. So it got me to thinking, and I think that we all should make a little box for the winter, at least, and stick it in our car, and have a couple bottles of water, have a dog bowl or cat bowl, whatever, a water dish for your animal. Make sure you have a leash, harness, collar, whatever with you, so that you can take them out and walk them. Because if you didn't have a collar or leash and you had to take them out in the middle of all that traffic on the highway, cars weren't moving, but still, you don't want to lose your pet in the middle of all that traffic. So make sure that they have a collar or harness and a leash, that you have a bowl, that you have water, and have some freeze-dried food. So Momentum makes these meal bars that would actually be a full meal for your pet, but even something, freeze-dried patties or nibbles, or something that would store for a good period of time. I mean, frankly, you could put a can of food in the car. And while we're at it, let's put a couple bottles of water for ourselves, and maybe some snack bars that are stashed in your little box, in case you get stuck. And let's throw in a blanket or two for you, for your pets, for whoever's involved. I mean, we have a nice little, hatchback where our seats fold down. We could fold those down, and if 2 or 3 people and the animals all snuggled together under a couple of blankets, we could stay warm enough. But if you're by yourself and you've got your cat or small dog with you and nothing to keep you warm, it's not going to go so far. So I think that it's something we all should think about. Like, what should I put in a box or a bag or a compartment somewhere in my car, just in case the unforeseeable happened? Like, certainly if I lived out west somewhere where there's long stretches of highway where you don't see anybody and blizzards are more common and come up, I'd probably be more likely to be prepared. Sitting in suburban northern Virginia, I wouldn't think that I would be stuck on a highway for 24 hours. Thank goodness I wasn't. We don't go anywhere. And the snow that we got, we could scoop up with a teaspoon. Yay. So, for those of you who live in areas, if you are going to venture out and the forecast has anything bad in it at all, like it's going to be freezing, there's going to be rain, and then the temperature is going to get low, there might be some sleet, something like that, make sure you're prepared. I remember when we lived in New Jersey quite a few years ago, I took my little baby sports car to work one day. It was winter, but I needed to charge the engine once in a while, so I would take it to work. And on the way home, it started to sleet. And it's a little sports car. It's a little two-seater sports car. It weighs nothing. It had no weight, and it didn't have good tires for snow. So it's sleeting. I get halfway home, and I get to a stop sign, except I have to go up this little itty-bitty tiny hill. I'm talking itty-bitty tiny hill. The car said no. I'd get halfway up, it would just slide back down. So I finally had to turn around and find a different way home without even the slightest hill. I had to find a flat way home. So talk about not being prepared. If you're venturing out in the winter, check the forecast. So this is just fair warning that we all should make little goodie bags. And while you're at it, if you have family members with pets and they might not think of doing it, make up a goodie bag for them too, with some, good freeze-dried food or treats, some water bowls, some blankets, a leash, a collar, a bowl, all those kinds of things that might be needed in an emergency, stuck on the highway for hours at a time. I mean, maybe some of those little pocket hand warmers, boot warmers, those kinds of things you could throw in as well. So anyway, it's all about, that Girl Scout, Boy Scout motto, be prepared. What's the Boy Scout motto? Be prepared. The Girl Scouts have something similar. I was one, I just don't remember. Okay, everybody have a wonderful afternoon. I've got to go. I'm on a podcast with Jack Canfield in a few minutes, and looking forward to that. Have a wonderful afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Might be morning, who knows. What you doing, Forrest? He went and laid on his bed. He's being good puppy today, so far. He gets rowdy in the evening, and that's when he eats the furniture. Literally chews on the furniture while we're sitting 1 foot away from him. He's so stealth. Like you turn around and go, ah! The table lasted 3 days without dog chew. Little bugger. Bye, everybody.